Hello, this is Tori with LANDiO. The date of this recording is March 29th, 2020. We're providing you with an update on our business and the current state of affairs during this interesting time we're all experiencing together. This virus situation has dominated the news cycle and conversations throughout the world for weeks now. There's a wide array of theories as to the origin and the danger it poses. We've heard stories about people going mad over toilet paper and hand sanitizer. We've had the term social distancing shoved down our throats. And our email inboxes have bombarded with companies telling us how they're going to alter their operations because of this virus. I even received an email from a car dealership that said they're no longer going to shake customers' hands. As nice as it would be to rub our eyes and realize that we just woke up from some bad dream, this unfortunately is a reality. Whether you or someone that you know has been affected from a health standpoint, this has impacted everyone financially and altered our way of life. We see entire states forcing businesses to shut down, ordering people to shelter in place. I'm in Texas. The state of Texas has not issued such an order. However, the county where we live just issued a stay-at-home order. Entire countries are under lockdown, including India with almost 1.5 billion people. It doesn't even seem real. What we're experiencing right now is something that is going to be studied by future generations. And this is also new. We don't know how this is all going to play out. We see governments around the world creating trillions of dollars just to keep their economies functioning, which is going to have serious ramifications. It's one thing to have an economic downturn or a recession, but to have that on top of this pandemic situation where you have movement and travel and business restricted, it's an unprecedented combination of events. What this does is it changes our paradigm. It changes the way that we look at things, the way that we view the world, and brings to our attention the things that are truly important. Think about the city of New York. I believe there's over 8 million people in the city of New York. What is a common desire of almost all the people that are in New York right now? They want to get out of New York. Many of the wealthy who have homes in other areas have fled to those homes, but the majority of people there don't have that luxury. And not because it's unattainable, because it wasn't important to them. They did not make the prior preparation and have a plan in place if something like this were to ever happen, that they would have a place to go. I first started learning about the term prepper after 9/11, and over the past couple decades I've seen the media vilify people who are making plans to prepare themselves and their families and friends for unexpected future events that could disrupt our health, safety, and the economy. They were made to look like paranoid pessimists, delusional about an upcoming zombie apocalypse. Now they are proven wise to have had the foresight to prepare themselves for an unforeseen event like the one we're all experiencing right now. And one of the main components within the survivalist plan is land. You must have a place to go. There are some people that want to live outside the city. They prefer to never set foot in the city, while many people live in the city due to employment or other reasons. But even if your current life situation is such that it requires you to be in a city, that does not prevent you from being able to have a place to go. And that place is not just for an emergency situation like the one we're experiencing right now. Many of our customers have purchased land not for that reason. They use it seasonally, recreationally, a store of wealth. Land is something tangible. It never goes to zero. All fiat currencies throughout history end up going to zero. Over time, they become worth less and less and less. Their purchasing power is eroded, and then they become worthless. You may have heard stories about Germany in World War II, when you could have a wheelbarrow full of money and you couldn't even buy a loaf of bread. Recently, Venezuela has been experiencing hyperinflation. Zimbabwe is another example. Just because the United States dollar is currently the world reserve currency does not mean it is invincible and immune to failure. We don't know how long this is going to last or how quickly the purchasing power will be eroded. But if you study history, you can see that this situation has played out time and time again. That is why there has been a mad rush into gold and silver. Gold has been used as money for 5,000 years. And a situation like this highlights the things that are truly important. Health, safety, security, food, water, shelter, land, gold, silver, family, faith, freedom. What is a gallon of water worth? A month and a half ago, you could go into any store and buy a gallon of bottled water for less than $1. How much is a gallon of water when there is none on the shelf? How much is that gallon of water when you're concerned about not having water and you want to prepare and have some extra on hand in the event that you do not have water? How much are you willing to pay for a gallon of water if you're thirsty? If your family has not had water for 3 days, you can't even put a price tag on something like that. How well would you and your family sleep at night if you had a property that you could go to where you have thousands of gallons of water stored? Or maybe you have a well or a rainwater collection system or a whole combination of those devices. Maybe you have a garden, a greenhouse, some chickens, a goat, a cow. Maybe you have an active ranch where you have a whole herd of cattle. It can be as small or large as you want. The key takeaway is to have something. Throughout history, land has been a sign of wealth, and we are blessed to live in a country where land ownership is even possible. There are many countries around the world, developed countries, where owning land is virtually impossible, if not outright prohibited. Not only is it easy to own land in the United States, we make it even easier. You could literally go to LANDiO.com right now, place a deposit, put the remaining balance on your credit card or wire the funds, and that same day you can start enjoying your land. And we're still in full operation during this period. Almost all our team members' families are under some sort of shelter-in-place or stay-at-home order, but we designed our business to be able to operate from anywhere. It may take a little longer to respond. We may not be able to answer every call or immediately respond to every text or live chat or email because everyone's life has been disrupted. We have all these schools closed, so all of the children are at home, essentially turning all parents into homeschoolers. There's a lot of good that can come out of this situation. We're all going to be much more self-aware and prepared. We get to spend time with our families. It forces us to focus on the things that are truly important in life. And we must stay vigilant. We must continue to prepare, continue to focus on our health, our safety, to learn about things like having a garden, growing your own food, having a deep pantry of supplies and necessities, backup power solutions, and a long list of essentials that would enable you to ride out a situation like this in comfort. Be aware and get involved. Stand up for your rights and your freedoms. Benjamin Franklin said something to the effect of, "They who can give up essential liberty to obtain a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety." And we're probably going to see a lot of that. But remember, God is in control. But that does not mean we will not experience bad things. This is not our permanent home. We are spiritual beings living in a physical world. And I'll leave you with this verse, the armor of God. Finally, be strong in the Lord and in His mighty power. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Therefore, put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground, and after you have done everything to stand, stand firm then, with the belt of truth buckled around your waist, with the breastplate of righteousness in place, and with your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. In addition to all this, take up the shield of faith, with which you can extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one. Take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the Word of God. That is Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10 through 17. I read that verse often, and it gives me peace and a sense of calm. Please share that with your family and friends and everyone that you know. We're all in this together, and we will win. Thank you, and may God continue to bless you and your family with health, peace, and prosperity.